name is Mona Cabrera. Hi, I think we're live. Welcome to Hogue Health YouTube channel out here in Foothill Ranch, California. My name is Mona. I am the registered dietitian of the lifestyle program here. And I want to thank you guys all for joining me on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock. And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Thanks for joining me. You might want to hit the subscription button below. That way you'll get notifications when we're coming on live. And we have cooking demonstrations every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. I do a really easy, healthy recipe here. And then in the morning we have exercise classes. And then on Thursday at noon, we also have an exercise class with Dan, our fitness trainer. So we've got a lot of good things going on our channel. And so I want to just welcome you all. And let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about some fat loss tips to help you with hunger management when you are going through a fat loss stage. Maybe you've set a goal where you wanted to lose some weight, some fat, and these tips are going to help you. So I also have the YouTube live here. I wanted to check. I can check comments, so if you put your comments in the live chat box, I will be able to see those. Okay, so when we're going through the fat loss stage, hunger management is really important for your success, for your weight loss success, because it is common for people to think that we need to starve ourselves to lose weight, but that over-restricting in our diet will lead to, it may work temporarily, but it does lead to increased cravings, increased hunger, and can possibly lead to some binge episodes. So in other words, that is not really the way we want to go. It is not sustainable. So during the fat loss phase, you are going to experience some mild hunger, and that is normal. We want to allow our bodies to dip into its fat stores. So sometimes you'll feel more hunger than other times, but it shouldn't, you shouldn't be concerned about it, like cause concern. It's to be expected as you lose weight and your body adapts to its new metabolism. But we're going to talk about those tips that are going to help you during this time, some strategies that are going to help you during the fat loss phase, and really use these to decrease cravings and increase satiety and help you along the way, so as you're in the fat loss stage, to really keep you on track without having to starve yourself. And so it'll be more of a sustainable lifestyle for you. It's very common that people think eating less is better, but not necessarily. It's more eating more of the right foods that will increase satiety. So for example, which foods are those? So your high fiber fruits and vegetables. So most people are not eating enough fruits and vegetables throughout the day and at each meal. So that is really a great place to start. They are low calorie, high in nutrients, high in fiber, so it does help with satiation. They are gonna increase the satiety of our meal, gonna keep you full longer, compared to other foods that are more energy dense foods. So you do want to focus when you make your meals and your diet very high in protein and high fiber. So if you think of those high protein, high fiber as you go and create your meals, they are going to help with satiation. Another thing that really helps is food composition. So what does that mean? So a lot of people will blend up some smoothies, protein smoothies, and use that as a meal. But for some people that really doesn't work because it is liquid. And so for a lot of people, that liquid meal doesn't keep them full long enough because it's really blended up in that blender. We don't have to do a lot of the breaking down of the fiber. So it doesn't keep us full as long as if we had a solid meal, chicken and vegetables and quinoa type thing. So, or eggs, English muffin, and avocado for breakfast. So, but it's very individual. But in general, liquid meals are not very satiating. So keep that in mind as you go through the your fat loss stage, and you're trying to create your meals. And tune into if that protein shake really kept you full enough for 3 to 4 hours. And sometimes it is, maybe you're not just making it correctly, because we do need the right components, the right ingredients in there to make it filling. You want to make sure you're having your fat, protein, and fiber. So that's the food composition. The next tip I want to mention is you want to focus on mostly unprocessed whole foods that are going to increase the satiety. They are less palatable compared to like very palatable foods out of a bag, like chips. So those are very hyper palatable foods, and they don't keep you full. So you want to concentrate on mostly whole unprocessed foods. So example, if you're going to go for a snack, it's 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you need that snack to tie you over to dinner. Instead of choosing a bag of chips that are very hyper palatable, not going to keep you full, you're going to crave more, grabbing something high in fiber and protein. Simply an apple and a string cheese. Those two combined are going to fill you up, and you're not going to overeat on those foods. So they're not as palatable as a bag of chips, right? So focusing on those whole unprocessed foods are going to help with that satiation and filling us up, so we don't feel that hunger, excessive hunger, when we go through fat loss stage. And those hyper-palatable foods are usually that combination of carbs and fat, right? So like chips, for example. I always tend to use that chips because at 3, 4 o'clock, a lot of people are going for a bag of chips. So I'm gonna check if there's any questions so far. Don't see any. Okay, so we talked about foods that are gonna help satiate us and make us feel full, focusing on, if you can picture a pyramid. The bottom, the biggest of the pyramid, the base is going to be protein and fiber, okay? So when you're creating your meals, a good general rule is 1.6 kilograms grams per kilogram of protein. So 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of weight. But everyone's an individual, and that's just a general guideline. So you want to keep the diet high in protein and high in fiber. So that high fiber diet has many health benefits, including increasing our satiety, decreasing our cravings. And it decreases our cravings by slowing down the gastric emptying of our stomach, our colon. It does increase the food viscosity. It does cause fermentation in the gut and bulking up the volume of our food. So you always want to have a good amount of vegetables, fiber, fruit and vegetables at that meal to help volumize your meal. It's going to help fill you up. So that fiber has many benefits. Carbs. So if you picture this pyramid, so you got the protein and fiber at the bottom. The next one is that food volume. Volumize your meals with a lot of vegetables. That's the volume. The next one will be carbohydrates. Carbohydrates can be tricky, okay? Because of the type and the amount of carbohydrates matters greatly. So for example, eating a bowl of oatmeal versus eating a bowl of pasta. Okay, the oatmeal is going to be much more filling than a bowl of pasta. So needless to say, you do want to eat whole grains. They're going to be unrefined carbohydrates. They're going to give you fiber and the nutrition, and it's a great way to increase our satiety and also help with muscle recovery and exercise performance when we are working out for a long time. So they are very important, but being selective in terms of which ones that you pick, we're gonna help increase our satiety. So for example, I love to pick sweet potatoes, beans, lentils a lot. Sweet potato, I love farro. I made a great recipe last week on Wednesday, was the fall farro salad. And so it was lots of farro as the whole grain, and then it had the Brussels sprouts, and it had butternut squash, and a lot of fall flavors basically, so it was a fall salad. So it's really important to pick and choose those unrefined, healthy carbohydrates. They are gonna help with the satiety, okay, when we're going through this fat loss stage. Dietary fat, it would be the next one. So dietary fat is optimal, it's essential for optimal health. So we need healthy fats. Where do they come from? Our nuts and seeds, avocado, extra virgin olive oil, olives, salmon. So they are very important, but when we choose them when we are hungry, they do not provide that satiety, okay? And they're also double the amount of calories, so they're calorically dense versus our carbs and protein. So we have to be very careful when we're choosing our dietary fats. They do have a place in the diet because they're very important for fat-soluble vitamin absorption, and they do add a lot of flavor to our foods, but we want to be careful when we choose those. The problem lies when we choose these ultra-processed foods like donuts, right? Carbohydrates and fats in there, and they're super palatable, but they do not fill us up and they make us crave more. So really looking when you are choosing those healthy fats, look for your avocado and your nuts and seeds, and be very aware of your portion sizes. So that's the pyramid. So we have the protein, fat, food volume, carbohydrates, fat, and then food viscosity at the top. That's when I was talking about the shakes versus a solid meal. So solid meals do help to decrease our appetite if they take longer to digest, so we are fuller longer, versus when we do have a protein shake or some kind of shake. So that is one thing to be mindful of when you're going through this fat loss, this stage. So if you can picture that pyramid, most important is having that diet high in fiber and protein, moving up to food volume, carbohydrates, fats, and then food viscosity. So that's really important. So with these tips, it's really gonna help you manage your hunger when you're going through the fat loss stage, because a little bit of hunger is normal, but we don't want to starve ourselves, which will lead to over-restricting in the diet, and then will lead to increased cravings and hunger and possible binge episodes, which just derail you in your progress. So we are looking for that sustainable way to lose fat and manage our hunger. So I hope these tips helped you. Hopefully you can take one or two that you didn't know about and implement it. And because we're all here at the Lifestyle Program working on our health goals and trying to change some of our body fat, and these tips really are helpful. So if you have any questions, I'm just going to look here and check. I don't see any questions. Does that mean I was very clear with my tips? Hopefully. So if you're ever in the area and you've never seen our program here, we're the Lifestyle Program out in Foothill Ranch, California, Hogue. And come on in, check out our facility. It is a full clinic from the urgent care to family practice, internal medicine, OC women's, imaging. We have the whole clinic here, so please come on in and meet us here at the Lifestyle Program. And we'd love to meet you. So I was just checking to see if I saw a question. No question. So If you like any of our episodes here, make sure to save them. There's a save button, that way you don't lose them. You can share it with any friends and family if you feel like they may be interested in this information as well. And I hope you guys all have a great week. It's cooling down, really feeling like fall, and so tomorrow it's going to be a fall specific breakfast idea that is easy to make, and you probably have the ingredients at home, so you could cook with me tomorrow for this breakfast that you can actually meal prep and make extra for the week. And it's a high protein breakfast to start the day off with something that is filling and satiating. So I hope to see you tomorrow here at 2, and thanks for joining.